TikTok is just getting set up here. TikTok sends invites out to people. YouTube does not do that. I am live streaming in two places. I'm on my TikTok account and I'm also on my YouTube channel. I have software that lets me do that. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Kimmy. Let me know where part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. If this is the first time, good morning, Michael. Good morning, Kimmy. If this is the first, good morning, Dad, what do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. What part of the world do you live in? Michael, please stop doing that. If you keep doing that, I'm going to block you. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming into. Okay, Michael, you're gone. I'm going to have to block Michael because he keeps doing that. And then TikTok sends me a thing that I have to do, and then that interrupts me. Good morning, Jo. Okay, Michael. Yeah. If you keep doing that, to see where you are. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, William. Good morning, Gwen. Let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Paco. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. It's about 2 hour drive to New York City. Good morning, Dottie. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I am live streaming in two places. I've got TikTok on my phone. Good morning, Terry. I have YouTube on my MacBook Pro. And if you're on my YouTube live, if you don't comment, I don't know you're there. So I can't give you a shout out. So unless you comment something in the comments, I can't see you. That's just the way that YouTube does this. TikTok is a little different. They do show you. TikTok shows me who's coming on. Thank you for Terry. Thank you for liking the live. I really appreciate it. Good morning, Esther. If anybody else wants to like my live, I appreciate it. It helps my account out, and TikTok loves that. And YouTube's a little different. I can't see anything, but I can see once I end the live stream if anybody's liked the live. It doesn't tell me who. YouTube's a little different. Good morning, user 3154. Good morning, Nicholas. Good morning, Corey. Good morning, Dee. Thank you, Dee, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. And Dee gets the gold star for the day because you've liked it now. I say at least 10 times. And if I had a virtual gold star I could give you, I would. For those of us, I went to Catholic school, and the nuns used to they'd have these little boxes of gold stars. And if you did something or you got a good grade, they'd give you one. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, Tina. Let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, user 6174. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, good morning, John. If you haven't been on one of my lives before, comment yes, because I've been seeing over the last couple of days names that I haven't seen before. So I think, good morning, Terry. I think there's quite a few people that have been getting on that they haven't been on before. Good morning, Corinne. Good morning. Is it JL9000? What do people call you? Good morning, Madeline. Terry, you're in South Carolina. Okay. My brother and sister-in-law live in North Carolina. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Frida Laugh. What do people call you? And I'm seeing, especially on TikTok, that people aren't. There's some people coming on that there's no picture on your profile and you haven't put a name. Good morning, Doug. And what TikTok does then, they just issue you, it's called a user number. It's a really long number. If you're using, today I'm going to talk about, I've been doing some trainings. I'm going to talk about how to build an email list. If you're using social media, you really want to put your name and put a picture of yourself. There's people, they don't put their names, they don't put a picture. If you don't put a name or something in, TikTok's just going to issue you your user number. Good morning. Is it Latif? Good morning, Rinish. If I'm not saying that correctly, I apologize. Good morning, Marby. Good morning, Taggy. What do people call you? Good morning, Carol. Thank you, Terry, so much for liking the live. I really appreciate it. You get multiple gold stars today because she's liked my live, I don't know, 10 or 20 times. I keep seeing the hearts coming up. Thank you so much. If anybody else wants to like the live, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, good morning, Alex. Good morning, SOB. What do people call you? Good morning, military. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Bailey. And there's just so many people. Good morning, Tamara. Good morning, Shiny. What do people call you? They're not putting when they set their TikTok accounts up, they're not putting their names on them. And thank you, Terry, for liking the live. I really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to like it, I appreciate it. It helps my account out. Doesn't matter if you're on my YouTube channel or my TikTok account. I am live streaming in 2 places. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Lo. So I'm just going to get into this, and I have my whiteboard here. And I've got it on Mirror, so on TikTok, the lettering should be straight. But I'm going to talk about how to build an email list. Now, if you're using social media and you're not building an email list, you're missing out because you don't own your social media accounts. You don't control them, but you own your email list. You can lose them at any time. I've lost 10 TikTok accounts and 3 Instagram accounts. So the first thing, and you definitely want to do this if you're seriously, doing this, build an email list, you need a tool called an autoresponder. Let me put this down here. Now, you can start with these for free, and most of them, actually, my handwriting's so sloppy. You need a autoresponder. It's a software, it's a tool that you use that you can set up and attach your website to a capture page, a landing page, and then you can set up a series. This is where the automation comes in. You can set up a series of emails that will go out for you on your behalf automatically. That's how you get this running 24/7. And the emails, somebody comes to your website, they opt in. I mean, if you're not doing this and you're using social media, you have you have a piece missing. You may have more without me knowing exactly what you're doing, but you attach your website to the autoresponder you set up. Now I've got like 33 emails on mine that goes out automatically. And that's typically, I'd say you need at least 14. 14 is the industry standard. It's at least 14 email follow-ups. So when people opt in, you keep communicating with them. And you can start with this tool for free. Most of them give you so many subscribers. Like the one I use, they give you up to 2,000 subscribers for free. And then you want to build an email list. It's an asset. It's the only thing online you really own. Then after you get to the threshold, with mine, it's 2,000. Then you have to start paying for it. It's an asset. And I know when I started, I spent a whole year. I wasn't doing this. Then you get the email set up. Now, you may have no idea how to do this, and that's why if you're trying to do something for free, you're trying to figure stuff out. Good morning, Carl. Good morning. Thank you for liking the live. Good morning, Jim. If you're not doing this, then you've got a missing piece, because then these emails go out for you continuously, even when you're sleeping. That's how I've been able to wake up that I made money while I was sleeping, or I'm out doing something else. And you may have, when I first started, I didn't even know what an autoresponder was. But if you don't have that in place, because the problem is if you're just sending people to a page, a page with information or a replicated website or a sales page, you only have one opportunity to talk to that person, and then they're gone. And I do get some sales on First Touch. That's possible, but most people are not going to buy on First Touch. And if you're just sending them to a website with information or sales page or a replicated website, they come once, that's it, they're gone, and you don't have the opportunity to keep talking to them. And they may never, some of them probably never come back. And I do know, I see some people get sales on First Touch. I get some sales on First Touch, but that's not typical. So you want to get them on your email list. And most autoresponders, like the one I use, they give you a feature in there. You can create capture pages and landing pages. And you set up a landing page, a capture page, a website, a squeeze page. It's all the same thing, where you ask the person to give you their email address. And in exchange for, and it's typically the second thing is here, you have a freebie. And a freebie, could be, and it's not that hard to do, a freebie. In exchange for them giving you your email address, you give them a freebie. You give them a freebie, like it could be a PDF, it could be an ebook, could be a free webinar training. Like I have a free PDF. So when people opt in, they get an email address from me and an email from me. And in the email, I have a link with the PDF. They can download it. They can save it. It's theirs to keep. But you can do a PDF. You could do an ebook, something. It's better for you to give something away for free in exchange for their email address. and it's not that hard to make a PDF or an ebook. You can, and if you don't feel like you can do one on your own, you can go to a site called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. If they do $5 to $10 gigs, you could pay somebody to make one for you. You could give them the information. It's not that hard, or an ebook. And then if you're promoting somebody else's stuff, you could ask them if they have something you could use to give away. And once you want to make it congruent with what you're doing, because congruency is important. And I have a free PDF I give out that's outlines the blueprint that I'm using. And that's a freebie that I give people in exchange for the email. So it is a good idea if you have a freebie to give away. If you don't think you can make one, you can hire somebody to do it. Or if you're promoting someone else's stuff, you could ask them if they've got something. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, Josh. If you're jumping on and this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Thank you for liking the live. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Alan, for the fan club. I appreciate it. But you want to be given a freebie away. So just to recap, you need an autoresponder. And I know when I started, I had no idea what that is. It's a tool, software that you use and most autoresponders today, they give you the ability, you can set up a landing page or a capture page that when people come to your page, they give you your email address, and then the autoresponder captures that, they go on your email list, and then you have a set of emails that are going out automatically, and you just have to set this up once. And then you don't have to worry about those emails. Anytime somebody comes to your website, they opt in, those emails are going out automatically. Now I have like 33 right now. That those keep going out for me automatically. That is where the automation comes in, because when you hear people say they made money when they were sleeping, that's why. They've got an autoresponder, and you can start with it for free, but after you get to a certain amount of subscribers, the one I use is 2,000, and you want to building subscribers. You want to build up your email list, because if you don't, then you're not communicating with them, and that's people over time. And to give you a good example, I had somebody who jumped in on my email list in October 2024. Now I did talk to her a few times on TikTok, and then she bought something from me in July. So she was on my email list for 10 months before she did anything. So you're generating leads every single day. And I've been talking about how you can use email to social media to do that for free, and get them on your list and get exposure. There's over 5 billion people. Get them on your email list, because if you're just sending them to a page with information or a replicated website or sales page, you only have one opportunity to talk to them. And then after that, that's it. They're gone. And if you're not doing that, then you're missing out. And yeah, you could get some sales, but you want to send them to a capture page, give them away something for free, a PDF, an ebook, it could be a free webinar training, and then keep talking to them, because you want to be generating leads every single day and then nurturing those leads, and you nurture them on your list. And you use a tool called an autoresponder to do that. And then the other thing you can do with the email list is you can send out broadcast newsletters. I call them broadcasts. Some people call them newsletters. They're both correct, but you can send out, and this is aside from the ones that are attached to your list, that you're broadcasting out to your list, sharing something with them. You could be promoting something. You can invite them to a webinar or a challenge or something. I know one of the things I do, because I use YouTube, I do send videos to them of something that's usually a how-to video, and I send that out to my list. And you keep nurturing them and communicating with them. And eventually some of them, if they stay on, and not everybody's going to stay on. I mean, you want to get to the point where you getting leads every day. And that took me a long time. I get leads every day and I have unsubscribers every day. It's part of the process. Some people are not going to stay on your list. That's fine. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. But be getting leads in every single day, nurturing them, talking to the leads, and then eventually some of them will buy. The ones that, want to hear from you, they'll stay on. Now I have in my autoresponder, I have it set up. If somebody doesn't open an email in a month, it automatically unsubscribes them, because the software does charge you for all of the subscribers. Even if somebody's unsubscribed, you need to, and mine has a thing in their settings that they can unsubscribe They will be automatically unsubscribed if they don't open. That increases your open rates, your deliverability, and that's a more advanced training. But you want to be doing that. So you want to be, and you learn how to write emails. And now with AI, you can use Chat GPT if you don't know what to say. You can go and ask them to do it. So those are the three basics of building an email list. Because if you're doing this and you're using social media, and a lot of you are on social media, and you're not sending them to something where you can capture their email address and keep talking to them, you're missing out. And you want to build an email list. It's the only thing online you own. You don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. You could post something, and if they don't like it, they'll give you a community guidelines warning. And then if they just decide I had a Facebook group, I had 60,000 people, that Facebook deleted it. So you don't own or control them. You do own and control an email list. And if you're not doing that, and I spent a whole year when I got into this industry, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I was not building an email list. I was sending people to a replicated website, which you never want to do. You don't know what you don't know. I spent $3,000 on pay-per-click ads. I didn't make any money. So if you are seriously doing this and using email, social media for any reason, you could have an online, offline business. You could have a cause you're supporting or a message. I had somebody on here that she has a nonprofit that helps women who've been victims of domestic violence. And she's using social media to get the message out on that. It's still the same thing. For her, she could set up a newsletter, but you want to send people to a page where you can capture their email address. And I know when I started, I was not doing that. And that's definitely, you're missing a piece. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Cam. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Stuart. Good morning, Stitch. If you're jumping on, this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. I'm seeing a lot of names I don't know. Good morning, TNT Plus. What do people call you? And there's over 5 billion people on social media. So whatever you're doing, there's the opportunity to get in front of a lot of people. Now, I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Good morning, Lena. I was just sharing how you want to build an email list, because when I started, I didn't know. I didn't have any training. I didn't have a mentor. And I was sending people to a replicated website. And they sent me a 3-page PDF with how to set up pay-per-click ads. I was doing that. I had no idea what I was doing. I spent $3,000 on the pay-per-click ads, and I didn't even remember what the website was. I did that for a year. I didn't make any money. And I knew after a year I had to get around somebody who had done what I wanted to do, because success leaves clues. You want to model what's already proven to work. And there's a lot of you, and when I say, and I haven't said that today, so I might as well say it today, why are you on social media? Like, nobody wants to answer that. And a lot of you, and how much time do you spend every day on social media? Because if you're just scrolling, and there's a lot of people doing that, they're just scrolling every day. And you may say you're only going to get on for 15 or 20 minutes. And then a half an hour goes by. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Emmanuel. Good morning. Is it Grit and Solace? What do people call you? If you're not doing that, and you are scrolling, and a lot of people do that, you could be making money instead. And you're scrolling for nothing. Like TikTok pays me for doing these lives. You can get monetized on most of the platforms. I just hit 100,000 followers, and I got monetized on TikTok. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'd be monetized over there, but they stopped their program. They used to pay people for the views you get on your reels, your videos, because I post 3 videos every day on TikTok, and I post 3 on Instagram. And that's how I'm getting, and it took me a long time, but I get leads every single day. I'm getting leads from social media for free. I'm getting them on my email list. I'm building my email list. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Hogan. If you're jumping on, this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. If you're on my YouTube channel, if you don't comment, I can't see you. YouTube does not show me that. TikTok does. I can see people coming on. If anybody wants to like my live, I appreciate it. That helps my account out. I can see on TikTok if somebody likes my live. TikTok does show me that. And then when people tend to do on these lives, they jump on, they jump off, they go on somebody else's. When somebody jumps off, then when they come back on, I can see them coming back on. Thank you, Hogan. I really appreciate you liking my live. That helps my account out. That they do show me that, where YouTube does not. So you can see a lot more going on TikTok. And I do know when people have jumped off, because they jump off and then I can see them coming back on. Vika over here on my YouTube channel is asking me, what do I use for an email list? I use a tool called System EIO. It's software. It has an autoresponder in it. I can build capture pages, set up sales funnels, because you also need that. And that's a tool that you can start with them for free, but after you get to a certain amount of subscribers, mine's 2,000, then they start charging you. It's an asset. You're saying question mark, what are you questioning? Let me just go over here. Thank you, Hogan, for liking. Mexis, if you want to join, you want to come up here you're on my TikTok account, to the top of my profile, and in the bio there's my website, payudaily.com. You want to click on that. It'll take you over to a page. You put your email address in. You want to watch the 2 videos, read the page. You'll get an email from me. In the email, there is a link with a free PDF I'm giving out. You can click that, download it, save it to your computer. It's yours to keep. Go through the information. And if you're really serious and want to, know what it is, go through all the information. And then if you have questions, you can just respond back to my email. But it's pretty straightforward. It's digital marketing, and it's the e-learning industry, which right now is doing about $1 trillion a day, and that's projected to go to like $3 trillion over the next couple of years. And you get your piece of the pie. I make 100% profit. There's different business models. Digital marketing's one, affiliate marketing's one, high ticket affiliate marketing, network marketing. They're all business models. I've done all of them. Some people I've had my own products and services too. Some people have their own coaching services. They coach about it. There's all kinds of different topics. And they're using social media, and you have to learn it's a high income skill. You have to learn how to use it correctly, because there's a lot of people using social media. You don't know how to use it correctly. You're spamming, you're taking links to something and you're spamming it all over people's contents. You're private messaging people, sending them a link. Good morning, Feroz. Thanks for jumping on. Feroz is here. He's from India. And I am live streaming in multiple places. I've got TikTok on my phone and I have YouTube on my MacBook Pro. But people are, if you message somebody and you send them a link to something and you didn't get permission from them, you didn't ask them, are you open to looking at whatever it is you're doing? That's spam. People do that. I get people spamming on my content, my videos. People spam on people's posts. You don't want to do that. It is spam, and you want to learn the right way. If you do have something and you want to message people, ask them first. Say, are you open to taking a look at, and you don't want to tell them everything, but say, I have a thing I'm using. I'm able to make money from home. Are you open to taking a look at it? If they say no, then say thank you and move on. If they do say yes, they would be willing to look at it. Then you can send them, if you got a link to a website, a video, whatever it is. But there's people, you're spam when you do that and you don't get permission from somebody, you're spamming people. And it's not cool. And I know a lot of people, I didn't know that when I started. And if you're brand new and you've never done this before, then you don't know any better. But if you're jumping on my live or other people's lives, they may bring that up. But that is spam. And there's a lot of people doing that. And I like attraction marketing, which you learn and I have an attraction marketing strategy I'm using. You attract people to you. That's way better than you having to go bug family and friends, or private message people on social media. Good morning, Mitzi. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning, is it Wayne? Good morning, Jersey Girl. One if I used to live in Jersey. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Diane. This is the first time you've been on one of my lives. Comment yes, because I'm seeing names I don't recognize. Love to know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home. And this month is my 14-year anniversary of doing this. I started doing this after I lost my job. That was 14 years ago in August. I couldn't find another one. Worst job market ever. People were getting 1,500 resumes for one position. I got a few interviews over a year of applying. I ended up not getting a job. Yeah, I know. Actually, first, I learned that recently. TikTok is banned in India, and now TikTok may be banned in the United States, depending on what happens. President Trump did sign another 90-day thing that goes to December, like December 19th. I think they're working on a deal, but they haven't come up with one. And the last one expired September 19th, and they did not come up with a deal for that. And so it's still up in the air. If they can come up with a deal and get somebody to buy TikTok that doesn't live in China, that lives like preferably in the United States, then TikTok wouldn't be banned in the U.S. And from what I'm reading, I understand they are working on a deal. They're getting closer to one, but they couldn't come up with a deal before the last deadline was September 19th, which was like 2 weeks or so ago. So it's still up in the air. In fact, I have software I use on Instagram that it's in beta on TikTok. And if you live in the United States, they're not giving anybody access to it. I'm on a waiting list. It's software I use on Instagram. I don't have to go through and answer when people comment on my content. The software does it for me. If I can automate stuff, I will, but I can't get access to that until this whole thing is resolved. Good morning, JD. Good morning, Flyby Central. What do people call you? Good morning. Is it Jack? Good morning, Stitch. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. I'm seeing names I don't recognize. I am on TikTok and YouTube. I'm YouTube live streaming in 2 places. I have software that allows me to do that. But getting back to the whole thing with TikTok, we still don't know what's going to happen with it to people living in the United States. And I know there's a ton of people, and I'm on multiple platforms. I'm not going to feel that much because I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I have accounts on all of them, but TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are the 3 that I use the most. And if people that have TikTok shops, if it does go away in the U.S., you're going to lose your shop. And if that's the only way you can and you can't, there's TikTok shops not on any other platform, you're going to lose it. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Belle. And for a lot of people, there's so many people that use TikTok. I mean, the 5 billion in the U.S., but there's a lot of people from the U.S. using TikTok. So we still don't know if that's up in the air. And I would love to be able to use the software on my TikTok account, but they just decided if you live in the United States that for right now, they're not going to give people access to it because I would definitely be using it. But that's their choice. And none of us really have any control of what's going to happen with TikTok. And I understand this, they're concerned about security, but there's an awful lot of people using TikTok. And I do think TikTok is the easiest platform. I've seen people in this industry who have never gotten any results get on TikTok and get leads and sales. It's nothing like YouTube. YouTube's like a different animal. It's a search engine, so you got to learn SEO. You don't need to learn that to use TikTok. And the editing on TikTok is so easy. You can edit your videos right in the app. YouTube's a lot harder, and editing YouTube videos is time consuming. I've been on YouTube since 2013. They're both great platforms. I like both of them for different reasons. And I have been monetized on YouTube, and I lost it. I'm trying to get it back because I've actually made over 5 figures just from the ad revenue on YouTube. You can create additional streams of income using social media platforms because most of them you can get monetized. Now, you used to be able to get monetized on Instagram, but they stopped their program now. Whether they're ever going to bring it back or do something else, I don't know. But they used to pay people for the views you got in your reels. It's another stream of income. And like with YouTube, at one point I was making, it was like $500 or $600 a month, and I'm just using the platform. So you can do that on most of them. Now, TikTok has a lot of different ways to get monetized, and they'll give you a thing if you do a video about this. I'm not going to start doing videos about other stuff to get TikTok to pay me, because then that's going to confuse my audience. But there are some different ways to get monetized on TikTok. These live streams is not the only way. But yeah, you can get monetized on. So if you're using it, you might as well have them pay you. It's another stream of income. And that's one thing I've learned since I've been doing this is you want to create multiple streams of income. And when I was still working a job and I lost that job, that was my only stream of income. I never even thought about it. And if you only have one stream of income and you lose it, then you're screwed. And I was screwed. Couldn't find a job. I was broke, unemployed, and in foreclosure. Good morning, Dawn, good morning. Frederick, first time, well, welcome. Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Dudley. Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, is it Dawn? Good morning, Arcane. Good morning, Kendall. If you're coming in, let me know where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia, about 2 hours from New York City. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, Buyer. Skipped it. It can't be what people call you. Good morning, Hope. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. I do believe most of you are on social media, and what people do on these lives, they jump on and off. They jump on mine, they get on somebody else's, because most of my colleagues, we do live stream. YouTube, TikTok right now is the best place to live stream, but I'm live streaming in multiple places. Good morning, user 3922. Good morning, Sunny. Is it Sunny Jim? Good morning, Jose. Good morning, Stitch. Your thing is not moving, so I don't know. I'm not sure you're there or not, but let me know where you're coming in from. What part of the world do you live in? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I was talking earlier, and I have my whiteboard here. I was talking about how to build an email list, and giving you a couple steps if you're not doing it. Because if you're using social media and you're not using email marketing, you're missing out on stuff. Because if you're just sending people to a page, like a website with just information, and you're not capturing their email address, the issue with that is you only have one opportunity to talk to them. You want to get people you want on your email list. You want to build an email list because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. You could do something, and TikTok, YouTube, whatever platforms you're on, they don't like what you did, and then they either issue a community guidelines violation, or sometimes, and if you do that too much, then you lose your account. I mean, I lost 10 TikTok accounts. One, I had 200,000 followers. I lost 3 Instagram accounts. Somebody hacked my main one. They went shopping, they set up ads, and then they deleted my account. And then TikTok came back. I had 2 other accounts. They suspended those, and then they did not rule in my favor. So I lost 2 different platforms. TikTok, I didn't think I even wanted to get back on. And then last June, I started this account. This TikTok account's new. I started posting 3 videos. I did the same thing on Instagram. I hit over 100,000 followers on TikTok. I'm monetized. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'd be monetized over there, but they discontinued their program. They used to pay people for the views you got in Reels, but they stopped that. Not sure if they'll do that again or do something else. And they usually put something up. Now, I do think on Instagram you can get paid for live streaming too, but they're not doing what they were doing before, which, and I post a lot of videos, so that's really pretty easy for me to get video views and them to pay me. But at the moment, Instagram discontinued that, so I can't be monetized over there. And I would, because you do need to meet a certain threshold to get monetized. Like on TikTok, you have to have at least 10,000 followers. And in the last 30 days, you've had to get at least 100,000 views. Then you qualify for it, and then they'll send you a thing you can apply. And then, if you get approved, then you can start, and I'm making money from these live streams on TikTok and YouTube. I don't think they pay people for live streams, but you have to meet their requirements. And then when you do, you can apply for it, and then they'll send you a thing if they approve you, and you can start. They'll send you a thing like TikTok pays through PayPal, YouTube pays. You set up a direct deposit to a bank account. I have a business account. You need an AdSense account because people make money from that too. You can set up a website and then put ads. You're putting other people's ads on your website. And like, I never really wanted that other people's stuff on it. But when people click on the ads, they pay you. So there's different ways to earn when you're using something like YouTube or you got a website. If you are going to do the AdSense thing, then you're going to have all these ads on your website, which I really wouldn't want them on my website because it's other people's ads. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning. Is it? Oh, I can't. Donut? Is that what people call you? Good morning, Debbie. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. What part of the world are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I was talking about building an email list, because if you're using social media and you're not using email, you're missing a piece. Thank you for liking the live. Is it Graham? I appreciate that. If anybody else wants to like the live, whether you're on my YouTube channel or you're on my TikTok account, I can't see on YouTube. YouTube does not show me that. If you don't comment, I don't know that you're there. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, user 42828. If you're using social media and you're not building an email list, you're missing out, because the problem with, if you're using social media, really, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, you have over 100,000 followers. It really doesn't mean anything, because you don't own the account. You could lose it. And it's not so much followers. Somebody could have 1 million followers. It's the connections you're making, because connection equals currency. And that's what my mentors taught me. And she's very successful. You want to model what's already proven to work. And anybody, for any reason, you can lose your social media account like that. And if you're just depending on all that, and if TikTok does get banned in the United States, all the people that live in the US that are using TikTok, and like you have a TikTok store, it's gone. And you can't do that on another platform. You can't keep talking to them. That's why you want to build an email list. And I was saying in the training, you need a tool called an autoresponder. It's software that allows you set up a website, you attach the emails to it, you set up automatic emails that are going out for you 24/7. That's how you can make this automated, because that gives you the ability. And now I've been able to wake up and make money. I could be doing something else and I make money. It's where the automation comes in. And if you don't have, and I know when I started, I didn't even know what an autoresponder was. I spent a whole year, and I was paying for pay-per-click ads, sending it to a replicated website, which you never want to do, and you don't know what you don't know. And I did that for a year. I spent over $3,000 in pay-per-click ads, and I didn't make any money. I knew I needed to get around somebody that had done what I wanted to do. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Veronica. Good morning, Jen. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from, what part of the world you live in. I live on the East Coast of the United States. So I was talking about that this morning earlier for people that weren't on when I first got on. You want to be building an email list. And yeah, social media, you can get massive exposure. There's over 5 billion people on social media. But if you're just sending them to a page with information and you're not capturing their email address, you're missing out. And you do need a tool called an autoresponder. Most of them you can start for free. But then when you get to a certain number of subscribers, like the one I'm using now, they give you up to 2,000 subscribers. And then when you get to that, then you have to start paying for it. And it is an asset. It's the only thing online you really own. It's a cost of doing business. And then when you start getting better, you start building a list and you have people on your list, you can send emails out. And you can learn to write emails. You can use ChatGPT to write emails. You can send emails out to your list and make money. You can send an offer out to them, because, and to give you a really good example, people want to get to know you. It's the know, like, and trust factor. I had somebody on my email list that she got on last October 2024. Now, I did talk to her a few times in between all this on TikTok. She was a lead I got from my TikTok account, and then she bought something from me in July. So she was on my email list for 10 months before she did anything. And people want to get to know you, like you, and trust you, and then they'll buy from you. Yeah, you can get first sales and first touch. I do, but that's not typical, and that's not all the time. People have to see something multiple times. And if you think about your own buying habits, how many times do you look at something before you make a decision? Good morning, Ruth. Good morning, Nicholas. Good morning, Hood Telsey. What do people call you? If you've never been on one of my lives, comment yes, because I'm seeing people come on here that I haven't seen you before. I mean, some of the names, and there's some people that get on all the time. Those I recognize. So let me know where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I was talking about email marketing this morning, because if you're using social media, and it doesn't matter what you're using social media for. Good morning, Brad. If you have a cause you're supporting, you have a message, you have an online business, you have an offline business, and you're trying to get exposure for it, you can use social media for free. There's over 5 billion people that you could potentially get exposure to. But if you're just sending people to a page with information, a website with information, a replicated website, a sales page, you only have one chance to talk to them. And then when they leave, they're gone. Good morning, Lillian. And then you can't keep talking to them because people have to see something multiple times. And yeah, I do get some sales on first touch, but that's not typical. And I was just sharing about the person who got my email list last October 2024. I talked to her a couple of times on TikTok. She bought something from me in July. So she was on my email list for 10 months. And if you're new, you probably don't have an email list. So you got to build that up, and it's an asset. It's the only thing you own online. And I've lost so many social media accounts. I had 10 on TikTok. I lost one. I had over 200,000 followers. I actually stayed off of TikTok for over a year because I was so disgusted. All the work that I put into it. And TikTok it can be a pain. It's the only platform when you post a video, somebody's reviewing it. Because if you post a video and if you just immediately check back and you click on it, it'll say this video is being reviewed. The other platforms don't do that. And I'm pretty sure they have a live person that does that. And I've posted videos that have gone back an hour, 2, 3 hours or more, and they're still reviewing the video. It's not automated as far as I understand. It's a person that's looking at it, and then they'll decide if they think that whatever your video is about, if it's appropriate, and if it's appropriate, then they'll go ahead and post it so people can start seeing it. But they're the only platform that does that. And they did at one point when I got on TikTok in 2020, they did send out a thing that they don't really like. And all of us and I'm in this, the make money on niche, the wealth niche, work from home, they don't really like that. And they sent a video out saying about that. So with me and many of my colleagues, they're a lot harder about when they do review your video, issuing community guidelines violations. And actually right now we're just talking about in our group, I have a video that has over 40,000 comments right now on TikTok. If I respond to anybody, they're issuing community guidelines violations. It's crazy. I mean, I might just say, send a link so people can go to my website, or I might just answer a question and they're issuing community guidelines violations. And then I got 3 the other night when I responded to people, and I ended up appealing them. They apologized, but that's what they're doing right now. So it makes it really hard. You can't respond. And they're so picky. They're pickier than any other platform with the stuff that they do. And that's why I think I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. And I do think it's the easiest platform to learn if somebody's new. And if you're new and you're wanting to do this, or you got something you want to get exposure for, and you've never done this before, I recommend you pick one platform to master. Do it till you master it. And then after you master it and you're getting, say, I don't know, at least a couple leads a day, you've gotten some sales, you're getting followers, you're getting views, you're getting likes. That'd probably be at least 90 days, then move on to another platform. I've been doing this for a long time, so I am on multiple platforms. I've been on YouTube since 2013. And before TikTok came about or any of the short videos, because when I started this, and that was 14 years ago this month, short video didn't exist. And I have a mentor she's been doing this for over 25 years. Social media and the internet didn't even exist when she started. So she was literally taking posts, a piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 posts, putting it on like telephone poles and trees and going out to the mall and all that. Good morning. It's a nice boy. Good morning, Sassy. Good morning, Mags. If you're jumping on, this is the first time you've been on one of my lives. Comment yes. I'm seeing some names today that I don't recognize. And if you're on my YouTube channel, if you don't comment, I don't know that you're there. Victor's saying, yes, I'm interested, right back so I can understand you. Victor, if you want more information, what you do is you come up here, you want to go to the top of my profile. In the bio, there's my website, payudaily.com, or you can just put my website in your browser or on your phone or whatever. Go to my website, click on that, put your email address in. There's 2 videos there. Watch the videos, read the page. You'll get an email from me. Read that too. There's a link in there with the free PDF I'm giving out. You can click on that. You can download and save it. That's yours to keep. It's free. If you've got any questions, you can respond back to the email with any questions you might have. Now, it should answer all your questions. And I know when people don't watch all the information that they didn't go through it, because by the questions they're asking me, and then you can make a decision what you want to do or not. The PDF is free. The program is not. It's a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks. Mastering it, you have to start doing it every single day. When I say every day, I mean 7 days a week. If you're trying to build an audience up on any social media platform, you have to show up every single day, 7 days a week. People, you may not think anybody's watching you. I'm telling you, they are. They want to know that you're going to show up every day. And if you skip around, and a lot of people do this, you come up, you say you're live streaming, you live stream 1 or 2 days, and then you don't live stream for a week. It's basically like starting over. People want to know you're going to show up, that you're going to be there. And if you don't, then they'll go find somebody else. And most people I talk to, they're not consistent. If you're having trouble being consistent, you have to start digging deeper about why you're doing this. And for me, it's pain. It's one of the reasons I've been so consistent. It's pain pushing me. And Dr. Michael Beckwith said, your pain will push you until your vision pulls you. And that's been 100% true for me, because now I've been doing these live streams every day. I started like July 16th. I'm almost on 3 months of live streaming every single day. I post 3 videos on TikTok and Instagram every day. And I started doing that last June. Started posting 3 videos every single day. I haven't missed a day. The consistency. And there's a lot of people I meet that I talk to, they're not consistent and they're not getting the results that they want. So consistency is really important. I've met a lot of people that are just playing around with this. They say, oh, I want to quit my job in the next 6 months, and then they don't do anything. Yeah, you can get to the point where you could quit your job, but if you're not showing up, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to make any money. In fact, we have somebody in our group that was working 2 jobs. She's a single mom. She was exhausted. She never had time to spend with her kids or anything else. And she's been able to, she started this, what I'm doing, and she's left both her jobs. She's got more time with her kids. She's replaced the income from the 2 jobs she was working, that she was exhausted. Good morning, Al. Good morning, Sweet and Low. Good morning, Demetrius. Where are you coming in from? If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. So the consistency, and you may not think anybody's watching you. I'm telling you, they are. I used to think that. And I had somebody who, and when I first got on YouTube, I was posting every day, putting up at least 1 video. This was before TikTok or short video. And over 3 years, I met her at an event. And she came up to me. I had no idea who she was. She said, oh, I've been watching your videos like the last year. So yeah, people are watching you. Good morning, honey. Good morning, Susan. Where are you coming in from? Thank you, Susan, for liking the live. I really appreciate it. What part of the world do you live in? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I'm about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm about a 2.5 hour drive to New York City on the East Coast. Thank you, Susan. I really appreciate it. Good morning, Rosemary. Anybody else that wants to like my live, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, I am live streaming in 2 places. But you're from Nigeria, Africa. Okay, we have people in our group from Africa. I am here every single day. I've been doing these for a while. Good morning, Joshua. So thank you for Susan for liking the live. Anybody else wants to like the live? I see the hearts coming up. TikTok does show me when people like the live. YouTube does not. In fact, if you're on my YouTube live, if you don't comment, I don't know who's there. I know Feroce was there. There's somebody else called Vika, but I think she's off now. But I can't see you unless you comment. Thank you, Susan, too, for sharing it. That TikTok's telling me that. Thank you, Joshua, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. That helps my account out. TikTok likes it. YouTube does, too. I can't see if anybody liked my live on YouTube. I can see that when I get off. It doesn't tell me who, but I can see if anyone's liked it. Good morning, Hogan. So TikTok shows you a lot more, and I can see who's coming. TikTok does show me who's coming on the live, because I can see the feed coming up. Good morning, Sam. Thank you, Joshua, again for liking the live. I really appreciate it. They do show me that. And then when people are coming on, if people go off, and people have the tendency on these lives, they jump on, they jump off. I mean, you could be laying on your couch with your phone, and you got your phone and you jump on somebody's live stream, and people do have the tendency, good morning, Luis, have the tendency to jump on and off of these. You could be laying on your couch. You could be sitting on the toilet, for all anybody knows, jumping on somebody's live. Good morning. Oh, I'm not even going to try your name. Somebody that just commented on my YouTube channel. What do people call you? Thank you for jumping on. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, I haven't seen you. I think you are new. But thank you. Thank you, Susan, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name because I'm probably going to butcher it. So, but good morning. Thanks for jumping on. Susan gets today, Susan, you get multiple gold stars because now you've liked my live. I don't know, 10, 20, 30 times. Thank you. I really appreciate it. That helps my account out. I was talking earlier about email marketing. And if you're using email, if you're using social media, you're not using email, you're missing a piece. Because if you're getting people to follow you on social media and you're sending them to a page where you can't capture their email address, it's just a page with information, a sales page or replicated website, you only have one opportunity to talk to them. Thank you, Susan. Susan, I would give you at this point like 50 stars. I went to Catholic school for a while, and they had boxes that they bring in that have gold stars. If you got a good grade, or you answered a question correctly or something, they gave you one. Good morning, Moon. Susan's going to town. I think you're going to get the number one thing today for liking my live the most. And then usually I'm grateful I have somebody, at least one person. Usually there's multiple people that are getting on my lives and liking them. I really appreciate it. But if anybody has any questions, I've been doing this for this month. It's 14 years. You can learn how to make an income from home. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. I needed to find something. Good morning, John. I needed to find some way to make money from home. I couldn't find a job. Worst job market ever. Good morning, Snowman. I knew somehow people were making money on the internet. I didn't know anybody. I think it was God telling me, because I went to Google. I searched make money online. And I was saying that earlier. I bought a website. I had no idea what I was doing. I was sending traffic to a replicated website. I spent $3,000 in pay-per-click ads. They sent me a PDF showing me how to set up pay-per-click ads. Nothing converted. You don't want to send people to a replicated website or a sales page because you only have one opportunity to talk to them. Good morning, Tiger. You're welcome, Susan. Thank you for liking my live. I really appreciate it. Susan liked it. I don't know. I think it's at least 50 times, Susan. And usually there's a thing up at the top that TikTok kind of keeps account of it. And then they had the whole badge thing. Susan shared it too. Thank you so much. They kind of tend, and I think it's more the gifts that they keep. I've been on other people's lives and I've seen that they'll keep track on it. Good morning. Is it a working something? And that your name popped up, and then it popped off. Thank you so much, Susan, for liking my live. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, I do believe some of you are new. Whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel. So I did want to share that about email marketing, because I know when I started, I didn't know that. And I spent a whole year and over $3,000 on pay-per-click ads. And then whatever I spent on the website, I didn't make any money. I realized that I needed to get around somebody who had done what I wanted to do to learn from them. Success leaves clues. You want to model what's already proven to work. And what I was doing didn't work. And most people at that point would quit because I did spend a year and I ended up on Facebook trying to meet some other people. But you need to get around somebody that has done what you want to do and model them because you can't do this by yourself. And there's a lot of people, if you have a broke mindset, and I had one when I started, and you're thinking you can learn a high income skill that you don't have to invest any time or money into learning it, I'll tell you, you're mistaken because you need to get around somebody. And this is a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks. You can't master it in 2 weeks. You might be able to get good or get really familiar with it in like 90 days because anything that you're learning new, at first you're slower. You don't know it as well, but the more you do it, you get better at it. You get faster. Thank you, Susan, for liking the live. Thank you so much. I think you're going to break a record out of anybody that's been on one of my lives, Susan, that you've liked it the most. I don't know if TikTok will tell me that in my analytics or not. Good morning, Louie. I'll have to look. Let me know where you're coming in from. And I was talking about email marketing this morning. Just giving you some tips that if you're not doing that and you're using social media, it doesn't matter. I had a woman that was on here and she's using social media. She has a nonprofit that supports women that are victims of domestic violence. And she's using social media to get the word out about all that. So you want to learn how to use social media correctly. And I can tell you there's a lot of people that they're not using social media correctly. And people are spamming their links all over. They're spamming it on people's content. They're messaging people. In fact, this morning I got a couple messages with people sending me links to videos and stuff. And I immediately block people that do that. You shouldn't do that. It's spam. If you've got something you're trying to promote, you should ask, if you're going to do that in private message people, ask them. If say you're doing, that you want to give too much away, and ask them if they're open to taking a look at what you're doing. And that's prospecting. Good morning, Terry. You can do that. That works, but you're going to have to go to people one by one, and you can use social media, messaging people. You can go to family or friends, but that's one by one. And I did that for a couple of years, promoting a network marketing company. I personally signed over 350 people. I got totally burned out doing that. I didn't have any time to myself. And then I just made the decision, I just don't want to do that anymore. It's exhausting. And you can use things like automation and leverage that do quite a bit of the heavy lifting for you. Good morning, Andy. You still have to create content, but you can get this down to 2 hours a day. I'm following it. And that's one thing that attracted me to this blueprint, working 2 hours a day, because you don't have to. And I was spending hours and hours. I made quite a bit of money. I personally signed over 350 people, but I felt like I was living in Facebook Messenger, because you're constantly going back and forth with people. It's one-on-one. There's no leverage. There's no automation. And that does work. And a lot of people like doing that, but I just decided I don't want to do that anymore. And this is much better with automations. I got stuff working for me 24/7. And I can get my workday income producing activities done in about 2 hours a day. You can totally. And if you're brand new, there's obviously some stuff you're going to have to learn. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. And I'm probably going to look at my analytics, because I think you're breaking a record of the person and I've done now, I'm almost at 90 days of these. The person that liked my live the most, I think I might be able to find that in my analytics. So if you have a question, because I did commit to doing these for an hour, we're coming up on the hour, and I've got some stuff I got to do, because when I'm done this, I'm done for the day. So I got to go do food shopping. Good morning, Monica. Good morning, Susan. We have two Susans, Susan A and Susan 5050. And Susan 5050 is the one that's been liking my live. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Laura. Where are you coming in from? This is the first time you've been on one of my lives. Drop a comment. Good morning, Carol. I've committed to doing these lives every day. I'm here at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I was talking about email marketing. I had another topic yesterday. The last couple of days I've had topics. Good morning, Heather. Good morning, Carol. Where are you coming in from? I'm on the East Coast of the United States. What part of the world are you from? If you have a question, drop it in the comments. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. This month is my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I haven't worked a job in June. It was actually 9 years. Now it's over 9 years. Good morning, Rodney. And I started doing this after I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. And I found this industry in digital marketing where I can work out of my house. And the job I lost, I had a 2 to 3 hour commute every day. And sometimes it was longer. I know one day I left at 4. There was a little bit of snow. I did not get home till after 7 p.m. So that was over 3 hours it took me. And I certainly don't miss that. And now my commute's literally, I just go up a flight of steps. It takes me like a minute, not even that. And that's way better than a 2 hour commute. And there's a lot of people, although today nobody's really saying much of anything. You have a long commute, or there's people. I did have a guy, Hank, that came on. He was honest. He's working 2 jobs to try, and there's a lot of people. I was just talking about that with a friend of mine. We went to a baseball game on Saturday, how much everything's gone up. And from the last time I was there, we go to this place where we get cheesesteaks before the game. Now one cheesesteak is up to $18. A bottle of water is $4. And at the ballpark, I'm sure the bottled water would be even more. But I know every time I go to the grocery store, I can buy the same thing. Good morning, Nicholas. And it's more than it was the last time. And food is, and gas has actually gone down because I filled my car up yesterday. It's cheaper, actually. It was costing me more before to fill my car with gas. It's less. But food, every time I go, whether I'm doing food shopping or I go out and I'm eating somewhere, it costs more than the last time. And most people, and nobody on, is anybody on here? Are you struggling to make ends meet? Because just with food alone, and how many people, depending on how many people you're feeding, good morning, Les, your bill is probably going up and up. And I usually do food shopping once a week. It's more every time, and I could buy the exact same thing. What I got costs more than it did the last time. Good morning, Endurance. Susan, thank you. I am going to have to look at that on my analytics, because I think it does show me if I can, I don't know if I can do it for more than 90 days, but over the last time I've been doing it, I think you're probably the person that's liked it the most. Some Candy, six figure. I don't know if I know her or not. A lot of people, they put that they're six figure earner, and they're not. If you're making $100,000 or more in a calendar year, and this is Webster's definition, from January to December, that makes you a six figure earner. Not if you made $50,000 last year and you're going to make 50 this year. That doesn't make you a six figure earner. Same thing for a seven figure earner. You've made $1 million or more in a calendar year from January to December. That's Webster's definition. And I find it fascinating how many people put that on their profiles, and they're not. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning. Is it Imelda? If you're jumping on, this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. I'm seeing names on here that I don't recognize. I don't think you've been on before. Good morning, Tinks. And now TikTok is going to send me, I have to do my puzzle, because when I get past a certain point, they give me this little thing that I got to do. I got to put a puzzle on a piece, and that comes up around this time. They do it every day. Now, if I'm less, because I'm over an hour now. Good morning, Keto Suarez. What do people call you? Thank you, Susan. Good morning, Angela. If anybody has any questions, I do believe that most people that you're on social media because you're either want to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And you do. And I know, because I did that, and I spent a whole year when I first started doing this. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a training. I didn't have a proven system. Thank you, Susan. You shared, TikTok's telling me, Susan, thank you so much. You shared my live with more than 10 friends. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That helps my account out. That helps this live stream. So I really appreciate it. And I was talking about email marketing this morning. I did that and I had my whiteboard here that I got the steps down. If you want to screenshot it, because those are the three things that absolutely, you should be building an email list, because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. And you want to get people on your email list so you can continue to communicate with them. It's an asset. It's the only thing online you really own, because you don't own your social media accounts. I've lost 10 TikTok accounts. I had over 200,000 followers. I actually stayed off of TikTok for over a year. I didn't really even know if I was going to get back on it. I had an Instagram account that someone hacked. They went shopping, they ran ads, and then they deleted my account. I had two other Instagram accounts that Instagram suspended, both of those, and then they did not rule in my favor. So I had to start all over again on both these platforms, which last June I started posting 3 videos on TikTok and 3 on Instagram. I'm at over 100,000 followers on TikTok now. I'm monetized. They pay me actually for doing these live streams. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I would be monetized over there, but they stopped their program. They used to pay you for views on your reels, and I've got some videos that got quite a few views on it, but they stopped that. And I think that was 2023 they stopped. So I would be, but they're not doing it anymore. Good morning. Is it Fergie something? I can't. Fergie, and there looks like there's some more numbers and letters. Welcome. Good morning, LAH. If you're jumping on, you've never been on one of my lives before, comment yes. Where are you coming in from? Love to know what part of the world you're coming in from. Thank you, Susan. I am going to check that, but because I do believe you're probably going to come up as the number one person. If TikTok will let me look at it, like the last how many days because I've lost count now, but thank you so much. You shared, and TikTok also told me you shared it out with 20 friends. Thank you so much. That helps my account. And you do that either on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. YouTube does not show me that. In fact, the only thing YouTube shows me is the number of people that are on and how long I've been streaming, the time. So if you don't comment, you're on. I can't see you and I can't shout you out. TikTok does show me that, and it shows me every time that Susan has liked my live. That comes up in the feed. Good morning, Joseph. It shows me when people are coming on, and I know when people come off because people jump off and then they come back on. And now Susan is telling me you shared it with more than 10 friends. I thought it was 20, but so it's at least 10. Good morning, Oni. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States, and I do online marketing. I was talking about email marketing this morning because if you're using social media, I want to be doing email marketing. If you have a question, because I'm going to end this in probably about another minute or so, drop in the comments. Or if you got something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to help you with it. Good morning. Is it Leon? Thanks for jumping on. I'd be glad to help you out with it. I can do a training on a particular topic. You can drop it now or you can just come back tomorrow. I am here every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been doing these now it's almost going on 90 days. It'll be, I think, October 16th, it'll be 90 days. So it's about 70, 80 days now. I will be here again tomorrow. So if you have a question, bring it. And I'm done for the day. This is the beauty about the 2-hour workday. I did some stuff before I got on this live. And now it's a little over an hour. Susan. Okay, Susan, what you want to do is you can go put in your browser payudaily.com. That's my website. Or you're on TikTok. If you come up here all the way to my profile and in the bio there's some information. My website's there, payudaily.com. You want to go to that. You want to click on it. I'll take you over to a page. You want to put your email address in. Watch the 2 videos. Read the page. So you get all the information. You get an email from me. Read the email. There is a link in the email with my free PDF. You can click on that. You can download it. You can save that to your computer. That's free. If you have any questions, then you can respond back to my email. I can answer your questions. But that's what I'm doing. It's digital marketing. I'm making 100% profit. And we do have a blueprint. Susan, actually, that really won't work because you'll miss watching the videos and stuff, and then you're not going to have any information about it. If you want to, you really need to go through and watch the videos and the page to understand it. And if I send you an email, if you want to send me an email at lindabamba@payudaily.com, I'll send you the page. But you really, you won't be able to get the PDF. You're missing out. So it's really better. My website is in my profile, payudaily.com, or you can just put it in a browser because without the information, you can't really understand it. You want to take in all the information that there is so you can take a look at it. And if you've got more questions, it should answer all your questions. You can respond back to the email. And I can tell when people don't go and consume the information by the questions they ask. You want to, know exactly what it is so you can make a decision. But that's what I do. I make 100% profit. There are a bunch of different business models. I've done all of them: network marketing, affiliate marketing, high ticket affiliate marketing, and they all work. It's payudaily.com, Susan, or you can just come up here. You're on my TikTok account to my profile, and in the bio there, my website's there, payudaily.com. You can click on that. It'll take you over to my website, put your email address in, and it'll take you to the videos. Because if you don't watch those and you don't consume them, you're not going to understand exactly what I'm doing and how it works. But this is how, I've been doing this now, this month, it's 14 years that I've been doing this. I haven't worked a job in over 9, and you can decide what your own goals are, because they're different for everybody. I don't know how much money you want to make. Some people are just looking to make some extra money. Others are looking to replace income from a full-time job. And for me, I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. I needed to find a way to replace that income. And I wish I had found all this sooner, but I didn't. When I was looking, I didn't know anybody. There wasn't anybody to ask. And I literally went to Google, and I was doing things I know now that you won't, you don't know what you don't know. So it's if up here, and click the link payudaily.com. That's my website. You want to go to that. I'm going to end this now. If nobody else has any other questions, Tommy Zero, thanks for jumping on. I am here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be here again tomorrow. If you got questions, bring them. And thanks for joining, Susan. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.